Oh, always.
Great actor. Speaking of great, we've got a great group coming up. It's Oingo Boingo, and their front man, Danny Elfman, lives in Santa Monica Mountains just outside of Los Angeles. He has a wife, and he has 2 children, and he's constantly remodeling his rustic hillside estate. Well, now that we know a bit about his private life, let's go ahead and meet Danny Elfman, the composer.
Danny Elfman, the founding father of Southern California's favorite band, Oingo Boingo, has in a few short years developed into one of Hollywood's hottest film composers. With 9 films to his credit, including last year's Grammy-winning score for Batman and this summer's blockbuster Dick Tracy,
Come here.
Elfman finds himself very much in demand, so much so that he can pick and choose his projects. For Darkman, he defied Hollywood's "we'll call you" system in order to work with its director, Sam Raimi.
I approached them, which is a little bit unusual in my profession, but I saw Evil Dead 2, and I called my agent and I said I must work with Sam Raimi. He got in touch with them and said, whatever your next movie is, Danny Elfman would love to score it. And I said, oh, by coincidence, we're doing a movie right now called Darkman. Went and visited Sam on the set and signed on.
While on set, director Raimi enlisted Elfman's help with some special effects.
Well, actually, there's a scene in the movie where the Darkman tumbles out of an alleyway in a pouring rain, and a car drives by, at least the sound of a car, and water splashes Darkman in the face. In fact, that's me carrying that water and splashing poor Liam in the face. I still don't think he knows it. And Sam made me put on a raincoat and stand out in a drenching, torrential downpour created by fire hoses up about 20 stories for about an hour.
Elfman's score for Darkman encompasses elements of horror, tragedy, action, and romance, inspired by Hollywood's classic horror movies.
I went right back to the mid-40s into the 50s, that period where so much of the great melodrama came from that I love, and that is so present in this film in such a good, pure way, which is what I've always loved about this film. And I also relate so much with the Darkman character. I mean, very often I feel like I am the Darkman, more ways than one.
And Darkman is an appropriate way to describe Danny Elfman. Although he received a well-deserved Grammy for his Batman score, he's quick to emphasize that the actual award isn't the be-all and end-all.
Recognition is lovely. Awards don't mean anything to me. I found out just today that I was nominated for an Emmy. And they asked me how I felt. I said, well, very flattered. I said, but how come you're not all excited? I said, I don't get excited. The nomination is the compliment. The compliment comes from being nominated. Now, I said that about the Grammy, too, and the people always say, oh, yeah, well, of course you're saying that, because then, you know, if you don't win, you say the nomination's the important thing. But I did win, so it's easy for me to go back, and even now, in retrospect, the greatest honor was still being nominated for carrying the trophy home is lovely, but it's not something that I think about or take very seriously, because it's a trophy. And the acknowledgement of the work is much more important.
I think he's going to be getting some of those trophies. Excellent work from Danny.